Hello and welcome back. I have left Jay behind. I don't know where he is. I think he's at work. He actually discussed doing this with Elliot. There's a few clues to what we're going to be talking about today because who are you, Elliot, and who do you support?
I am Elliot and I am a Burnley fan who has been grieving over this past weekend.
Yeah, so basically we've known Elliot for a long time and we messaged us and spoke to us, we speak, and he wants to speak about Sean Dyche and Burnley, and I think it's fair to say, on the face of it, this is one of the worst managerial sackings for a long time, at least.
Yeah, I think the timing of it was bad after such a high with the Everton result and then such a low with the Norwich result. I think that his longevity was a massive thing. Yeah, 9.5. It would have been 10 in October.
You've also now made Klopp the longest serving Premier League manager, which again makes it all about Liverpool. So great.
Yeah.
Cheers to that, Burnley.
Just built a modern kind of structure to a club that was mid-table championship.
Off the pitch more.
Off the pitch more so. Like the first year we went up, we spent about 11 million quid. The record signing was George Boyd for 3 million, but then they invested a lot of the Premier League money in the training complex and things like that, which has contributed massively to the last 7 years.
Was that 11 million on George Boyd?
No, 11 million for the training complex.
How much was George Boyd?
3.
Okay, that makes more sense.
George Boyd is
for
worth...
a second, I was like, I'm pretty sure Weghorst was 12.
No, George Boyd is worth exactly 4 training complexes. That's how I look at it.
Good. No, the other way around. The training complex is worth 4 Boyds.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, so we're going to start off by... You started there, but just I'm going to step aside for a minute and you're going to talk to Sean, essentially. I want to know 2 things. I want to know, first, your favourite ever memory with Sean Dyche at your football club, which I haven't told you I was going to say that. That was intentional. And I just want to your general thoughts on him as a man.
Stability. He's hilarious. In
Stability is not a memory.
I think the pinnacle would probably be we were in lockdown, so no one could go when we ended Liverpool's 69 game unbeaten run at Anfield.
Oh yeah.
Ashley Barnes with the penalty. Ashley Barnes with the penalty. Like, we remember watching it at home with my dad. Yeah, I mean, obviously empty stadiums at that point in time, but it was like such a huge win when we were kind of teetering down the bottom of the table, and we'd done like the double that year on Merseyside for the first time in a silly amount of years and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that was huge and a really, really good memory to have.
On top of that, this isn't the first take of that. And Elliot's mentioned beating Chelsea, beating United, being unbeaten in the Lancashire Derby, going to Europe, beating Tottenham in frustratingly annoying games repeatedly. We used to work together, and I always cling on, even though I shouldn't have to cling on. I always cling on to that really weird Ericsson late winner, if you remember that, where you just absolutely sucked the life out of us for 90 minutes. I think he scored in the 93rd, and I remember feeling, and that's what the league misses and maybe will miss if Burnley don't manage to stay up and without someone like Sean Dyche in the league. Even though, yes, a lot of fans do go, oh my God, kill me, which is fair. Not every team can come up and try to sign Billy Gilmore and try to be this weird canary Barcelona that doesn't really work. Some teams need stubbornness, and the relief of a 90th minute against Burnley is one of the best feelings in football.
That kind of Stoke kind of team, even though I don't like that label.
No.
But that kind of scare.
But you are that.
That banana skin away day.
Yeah, you are that at the moment. You are the silly record. To go.
We had a silly record where we'd beaten the champions at home 5 years on the trot. Something like that. Kind of banana skin kind of thing. I mean, the one which I think broke the record was when they had that goal line clearance of 11 millimetres when they beat Liverpool by a point, City.
Oh, yeah. You beat them there. Okay. Yeah, so I think the Stoke thing's a really good thing. So this isn't in my notes, but if Burnley go down, who is in the league now or coming up the next when can you do it on a Monday night in Stoke or Burnley? Do we have that team now, or will everyone come up trying to play this Huddersfield type of ball, Sheffield United overlapping centre backs, Norwich trying to ticky-tacker it around the middle of the pitch and getting caught out repeatedly? Do we have a tough team in the Premier League now, or will we? Because Fulham will do what they do, won't they? Fulham will try and play football and go down.
Nottingham Forest will, because I think they'll go up through the playoffs. There's not really anyone that springs to mind as like who takes pride in defending.
So what we're saying is what you've done, Burnley, is you've taken the last bastion of the English football and you've thrown it away. The league needs the shithouse. And for a while we had Stoke and Burnley in the same league. Now we have none. So
you can't think of anyone who plays 4-4-2 apart from us.
Right, and which leads me beautifully on to my next question. What is next? I mean, it doesn't actually. It's my next point about Sean. But what is happening from Burnley? Are Burnley going to survive? We've got a list of names here, and really quickly, I just want a yes or a no from you. Wilder, Chris Wilder. That's who you want.
Experience-wise, and going more logical.
But the way Burnley have been playing for 9 years, survive under Chris Wilder in 8 games to transition tactically?
I doubt it. I doubt he would be able to come in and turn Ben Mee into an overlapping centre-back.
No. Okay, so not that it's a problem for Burnley to go down. Like it's you don't want it, but it's not the end of the world. Who can, out of these names, who comes in now and keeps Burnley up? Sam Allardyce.
No,
he thinks he's lying.
Ex-Blackburn, and I think he had a similar amount of time with West Brom.
Anymore.
Similar amount of time with West Brom and got his first ever relegation.
Look at Steve Bruce. He actually had more time with West Brom, I think he had like 10, 11 games, not 8.
Plus, the defending, I mean, we've not been as Burnley as Burnley can be with like holding on to leads and things like that, but it's not our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is keeping hold of the ball and taking teams apart.
And taking penalties off the penalty takers.
Yes.
And missing them.
But
Cornet.
That factor of our points will have been coming, even the year when we beat Liverpool and we beat Arsenal and we beat Everton away, we still weren't beating the teams around us. Which is like the key thing there is like the Norwich game is we haven't been able to beat
What
Norwich
happened there? Was it just your cup final? Why did you put on this? Like I had the chance to go and watch the Champions League game between Chelsea and Madrid with friends, and I intentionally went home and watched Everton Burnley because I was A, sleepy, and B, actually quite excited about the fact to watch Frank Lampard crying due to facing again the pinnacle of this is not. Fuck you, Frank. You can't just come in and think you're the dog's bollocks. Like, Burnley will grind you down. And I thought Burnley would win. I was quite shocked they would in the way they did. But you pulled it out and it really felt like, that's it now. So why did you go to Norwich in the next game and shit the bed? And I watched that game because we were waiting for the Liverpool City game.
Yeah.
And they could have been 5. No, it was a battering.
Yeah, it was a battering. I think that the Everton Man United result had a big psychological impact on them the day before. The first goal is an unlucky deflection, but I also think that he shouldn't be unmarked on the edge of the box in the first place.
Why is he? Why? Because Everton don't get left unmarked. Whereas
that's obviously a management problem kind of thing where that's gone awry, but. Okay. They just had the ball. I mean, it was one of 2 games where Burnley had more possession than them under Dyche, and the other one was like West Brom in the first half, and it was like neither of them.
So you only had 2 games
where we had more possession than the team in yeah.
Oh my god!
It was on the Sky little pop up.
You only had right. Well, that's going to be something we bring in very shortly. I'm just going to run over the last 2 names that you said. Rooney, do you think that could work? He's done fantastic things at Derby. Unfortunately, they just went down yesterday, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Reading were 4-1 down and then brought it back to 4-4 to get the point that would keep them up. But Rooney thing, he's gone through there as a player, so there's a certain level of comfort with it, and then the perfect storm of the situation which has galvanised the squad. So
he reminds me of Dyche though, in the same way that they both were two of the greatest players. No, in the way that he seems to put man management first, and I think Dyche does that too, and he builds that atmosphere. But if you don't pull your weight and you don't show the grit and the determination, he'll kick your fucking ass. And I don't see Wilder. Maybe it's an age thing as well. I don't see Wilder.
Because Rooney was like that as a player.
Yeah.
Like, even though he was immensely talented, his work rate was second to none. So you'd expect him to demand that out of players.
Maybe he could Rooney play 6 of the last 8 games as a player manager
and send Everton down.
Send
his boyhood club down.
The final one was you were mentioning Duff, who is we're not going to talk about it for too long because we don't have time. But a manager for the future. I forgot his first name.
Former under 23s Michael Duff. Done very well at Cheltenham.
That's all on Michael Duff.
Yeah.
Right. And the last one was Nuno. I don't think that it's but not for a survival.
We don't have any Portuguese players. It just wouldn't work.
Well, you would in 3 years. Okay, so Wilder, Rooney, but Wilder. We want Wilder.
I think he gives us the best shot of going back up if we go down at the same time due to his experience.
I'd argue that every name we've just mentioned, maybe I don't know enough about Duff, but every name we've just mentioned is a better manager than Frank Lampard. So that's where...
And none of them are better than Sean Dyche.
Yeah, well, that's the crux of the video. Right, so here's my next question, and I want you to answer it in about a minute, right? What's next for Sean? Can he play in a different way?
I think that he gets unfairly scrutinised with budgets and the type of players we have because we played really good football when we're at the level where we have like the more dominant players. So it's more like if I have these players in front of me, what's giving me the best opportunity to win is to play that style. Like we've had teams with Trippier, Ings, Stephen Defoe, finished 7th, gone 3-0 up at half time against Chelsea, like at Stamford Bridge on the opening day of the season when Conte was in charge and they just won the league. Yeah. So it's possible. It's not all kind of back to front hoofball. I mean, there's them rumours about him getting a £15 million payoff, and I think if we'd have just spent that on a central midfielder. Yeah. I mean, all respect to Westwood, hope he's okay. But when Westwood got injured and Brownhill came on, I sort of said to Elliot, "Is Brownhill not slightly better than Westwood?" To which Elliot's response was, "They're both shite." So they work hard. They're not.
Yeah, I know, but they are limited. They're limited.
They were outpassed by 2 players in Norwich's team who I can't even name. Like, it wasn't like they were playing against a De Bruyne midfield kind of thing. And one of the weirdest things is the best of the 3 for me is Jack Cork, and all of our best results have come with Jack Cork on the pitch, and for some reason he's not been favoured this season, which a lot of the fans have pointed out.
So that
his contract's coming to an end, and he is aging kind of to near the end of his career, but it's still.
But there was that awful transfer video where he went to Cork or something, or they keyed it in the sat nav Cork, and then he came to Burnley. So that's why. Right, two final points, and then we're going to wrap this up. Right, where does Sean go next?
You've seen with other managers that they usually do have to drop down and take a team back up, but I think that he deserves a job of like a mid-table Southampton level if that came up, if Hasenhüttl went somewhere else.
Or got sacked if he continues to
someone like that
ridiculously lose games by 6 and 9 and 9 and 6 and 5.
A Leeds somewhere like that. I mean, there's quite a few where there's been a bit of turnover.
Everton's a stretch too far.
They were in for him when they got Marco Silva, and they didn't actually go it like he was second favourite.
If they got relegated, I could see it as a galvanising force, because Everton, obviously they'll lose a few players, but I think they'll probably keep players like, where's Townsend going to go? I know he's injured at the moment. Where's Gray going to go? They'll probably lose their front 2, but they're kind of set up for a 4-4-2 at the moment.
Yeah, they would keep
Keane, get the best out of Keane.
Keane was terrific under Dyche. Maybe he could hammer the mistakes out of Pickford.
Okay.
You know, he's coached a lot of very, very good
because he'll probably take that goalkeeping coach with him because he got sacked.
He's one of the ones who's left. Yeah.
So those they would probably stick together when they went into a new club. You'd assume.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We're gonna end this because We're gonna end this on a point of, you know, you've had some great memories of you saying we've got the European shirt behind us. We haven't even referenced the Sean Trooper. Elliot, all credit to Elliot there of that one, I think, unless someone else made that.
No, I've made
that was you. Really quickly, because we are running out of time, we're going to try and quickly go through the best starting 11 that Dyche had throughout his... And I think there's some obvious picks in there. I don't know if you want to go 3 at the back with Tarkowski, me and Keane.
No.
Okay, so we're going to go for Pickford. Pope, obviously.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, come on.
Tom Heaton, captain, free transfer.
Okay. Is that nostalgia or is that quality?
That is 2 promotions.
Okay.
The year when Pope was injured and we, for some reason, had Joe Hart and he came in like the halfway point of the season and kept us up.
Okay.
And then he left for Villa. So I think his legacy is slightly more...
Okay.
Pope's better, but his legacy is more so.
Okay, so we're going to go for Heaton. I think Trippier, right back?
Yes.
Yeah? 2 centre-backs then?
It's got to be Tarkowski and me.
Not Keane?
No, Keane had some great moments, but you can't not have me, and I just edged Tarkowski.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a left-back? Or do we just leave? Do we just miss out?
Probably say...
Cornet?
No, Charlie Taylor's been solid.
Taylor. Okay.
And Stephen Ward as well.
Okay.
Was quite... I'd probably edge it to Charlie Taylor.
Yeah, cool. 2 midfielders? 4-4-2.
Definitely.
This is a 4-4-2. So the 2 midfielders are?
Stephen
Defoe, obviously.
This is tough. It's a toss-up between Dean Marnie and Joey Barton. Joey Barton won Player of the Season and our 23 undefeated league winning season, so I'm going to give it Joey Barton.
I was talking to Stu at work yesterday and he had no idea who Dean Marnie was. Because I was saying Pete Burnley,
it's a cult hero.
Jonathan Walters, Dean Marnie, there's those sort of players. And he was like, who? And I was like showing him, look, it's Dean Marnie. Okay, but Barton.
Yes.
Right wing.
We've not been blessed on that side.
No.
I'd probably say Goodmunson, even though he's been quite injury prone.
Listen, Elliot, you must have forgot. George Boyd on right wing at the time, record signing, workhorse, got us back up to the Premier League, scored a winner against Man City. How can you put Goodmunson on your right wing? I mean, to be fair, he did score the equaliser against the Centurions, which I would put at one of your proudest moments, to be fair. You forgot about that one as well.
He's had...
Not a fan of Goodmunson. The left wing.
Scott Arfield.
So Dwight McNeil misses out?
Dwight McNeil misses out, yes.
Scott Arfield. Okay. And the best 2 strikers. I'm going to guess Ings is in there.
Yes.
Okay, I got one wrong because I've just kept throwing names at you that you've thrown back now. That's Ings.
And Sam Vokes.
And right.
Sam Vokes, the 2 of them. Yeah, even though his goal scoring record in the Premier League wasn't the best, he's a proper...
Ings and Vokes.
Yeah.
Okay, and tough one. The manager.
Sean
Dyche is the manager. So, I mean, Sean Dyche has ruined a fair few of my days, so I like him. I like you, Sean. You pissed me off a few times. But it's all about this guy and these guys right here. I think,
I think the Thursday night match against Southampton will have a very peculiar atmosphere. We didn't play badly against West Ham. We could have won it.
Big Ben on the
mistakes. Ben on the touchline.
What if you just so well that they're like, oh no, just stay?
It would be an experience having a player manager. It really would.
Okay, right. I think we've overrun, so I'm going to go. But
tell your dad.
Well, I was going to say tell your dad, but I think for today, I think Sean's your dad. Goodbye. Jay's going to not like me for that one.
Sean is your pappy.